So a few months ago, I posted a video on creating a Lightbox of the Mountain Maker logo, and there was a few questions about how it was done. So I figured I would go through the process in Fusion and Shaper 3D, maybe even try my hand at Tinkercad, and then I realized Bambu Lab has a Lightbox maker. So why would I go through the process of converting a PNG to an SVG and importing it into Fusion or Shaper and creating a bunch of offsets and making the backer? That's too much work. Why not just do the simplest route possible with Maker Lab? So I'll be honest, I'd never actually seen this inside of Maker Lab, although I don't spend a whole lot of time inside of Bambu Studio most of the time until this guy came in. So I was playing around getting the machine set up. If you're not familiar, this is the all-new P2S from Bambu Lab. There's a link in the description below. You can learn all about it. Huge thank you to Bambu Lab for sending the machine over. Anyway, I was playing around inside of Bambu Studio and going through the different things they offer on Maker Lab, and I came across the Lightbox generator. So I figured it would be the perfect first print for the new P2S, and I can show you along how it's done, but there really isn't much to it. You pretty much just upload your logo or whatever image you want to turn into a Lightbox, and the Lightbox generator kind of walks you through it. There's a couple different options from choosing your back plate. Do you want the front plate of your Lightbox to mount into the box, or would you rather the box mount onto the front plate? You can create keyhole slots and slots for the lights to go through. It's pretty intuitive software, and it definitely beats spending 30 minutes inside of Fusion, again, creating different offsets and extrusions and trying to figure out the different tolerances so the parts fit together. It all just kind of does it for you. So let's jump into the computer, head on over to Bambu Studio and open up Maker Lab, and we can take a look at the Lightbox generator. So inside of Bambu Studio, you'll open it up, and generally speaking, you'll open it up to something like this. If you go to Maker Lab, we're gonna go to the Lightbox maker. You can see I've already kind of generated one here just as a test with my logo. If we go into the preview, you can kind of get an idea of how this is going to work. It'll show you the different plates. So you've got your front piece here. And then of course we've got the back side, which will house all of the lights. I chose to do a reflection layer so it lights it up on the inside a little bit better. But these are all things that you can change around inside of the Lightbox generator. So we'll just do a simple create. And they've got some templates here. You want to create an on-air sign so people stay out of your business when you're filming. An open sign, maker's bar, but it's really as simple as importing your logo, whether it's a PNG, a JPEG, even a WebP image, which is what you'll find on a lot of websites now when you save a file. I'm going to choose the PNG version of my logo. That way there's no white background on there. If you choose the JPEG and it does happen to have a white or colored background, it will keep that in there. You can scale this down and click next. There is a remove background option if you do upload an image that has a background that you don't want. You can click that and it will remove the background for you, or it should anyways. This process can take a few minutes depending on the size of your imported image. When it's all done, you'll get a vectorized result here, and we can click next. Then we can start mapping out our colors. For this, we're only going to use one shade of yellow, but if you wanted to print it out with the orange and the yellow, you can choose how many different colors you'd like to use. That looks good there. Then we can turn on the stroke, and this is where we set the shape of our design. So if we just do a quick preview right now after loading it in, you can kind of see what the Lightbox will look like. And we can click over onto plates, and it'll just show you how the front is going to print and how the back is going to print. What I'd like to do though is shrink the depth a little bit. Then we can choose our different structure type. If you would like to print the full box on plate 1, like it's set up here, you choose default. If you would rather do it so the back side is more of the full-size box, you can click on reversed, and that will basically place your Lightbox image, or the image that you're going to use, right here on this smaller plate. If we add a diffusion layer, it'll cover that up so not as much light will shine through. If we use a reflection layer, it'll print the inside of this white so more light shines through, and it's easier reflected than just having a black background there. So that's what I'm gonna do. You can change things like the front thickness, which is essentially how thick this initial part here is. So if you have it at 0.8, you'll have a little bit less light shining through. If you have it at 0.4, you'd only have 2 layers, so you'd have more light shining through. I think I'm gonna change this to 0.6, so we only have 3 layers right there. Back thickness and the frame width, everything looks fine there. So if we go back to the design tab, this is where you can edit your colors. You can change the background if you don't want it to be kind of an outline of your image. You could set it to a square or a circle. Now, hole is where you can put different spots for running lights through. So they've preset it up here for a width of 20 millimeters and a height of 10. I think that's fine. So we can put that down in one of the corners. And if we hit preview and take a look at the back plate, you'll see that little square hole is there now. And in order to hang it, you can use a keyhole or a circle. We're just gonna do one keyhole kind of in the center up here. And again, if we go to preview, you can see they've added the keyhole automatically there. Super, super quick and easy. This would take not a super long time, but it would take 20 to 30 minutes to get your measurements in and make sure all of the parts are gonna click together with the appropriate offsets. And this does it in 4 or 5 minutes. If we wanted a base with it, we can choose with base, so it has something to stand up in. So we could go ahead and lay that out kind of like that. Maybe shrink that down a bit. And if we hit preview, there should be one additional plate now. It's got the perfect offset and outline, so your image can sit right into it. Kind of see what that looks like there. If we shut the light off, it might make it a little easier to see. That's pretty cool if you want to set it up on a desk instead of hanging it. But I think we're going to choose to do this without the base. Just keep it simple. And then after you're satisfied with it, everything looks the way you were hoping it was going to look, you can go ahead and click export, choose which printer you're going to be printing out on. It doesn't look like they have the P2S in here yet, so I'm just going to choose P1S with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. You can also get a little bit more detail and go with a 0.2, and then we can click open in Studio. So if we click switch, because the current connected printer is our P2S, it will switch this design over to the P2S. Now for my filament, I've got just a couple rolls from Elegoo that I've had lying around the shop here. I'm not sure why it chose 2 different blacks, given that the blacks are just that, they're black, so they're not gonna change in color. We don't need any supports. They have automatically preset this, so I'm not gonna change any of that. I am gonna change the initial layer height though to 0.2 and set it up with my normal presets here for top and bottom layers. 20%, we'll choose adaptive cubic infill. That's really all just personal preference though. So we've got about an hour and 42 minutes. Again, I'm not really sure why it chose to do it this way. I think when we go to hit print plate, we're gonna be able to choose both blacks for the same slot since we only have 4 colors in the AMS2 Pro. We could hook up the other AMS system, but it doesn't make any sense for black and black. So now all we have to do is load some filament up in the printer, get the colors mapped out, and send this guy on its way. So I've had the AMS2 Pro set up to dry for the last half hour or 45 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up and get the filament loaded in. Go ahead and stop the drying. Then on the brand new touchscreen, we can go and change our filament colors. So I'm just gonna set this up as generic PLA, and this is white. Slot 2 is black. Slot 3 is gonna be our yellow. And slot 4 is our blue. After all the filament is loaded up, we can go and hit print plate, and we can choose all of our filament colors. It's automatically done that for us based off of the colors we told it that we had. We're gonna leave flow dynamics calibration on, and of course, auto bed leveling. This should only run us about 27.5 grams of filament, about an hour and 42 minutes. We'll go ahead and hit send. To make things go a little bit quicker here, I'm gonna set up the back part on the P1P. That way, by the time the P2S is all done with the front, the P1P should be about done with the back. All right, first print on the P2S is complete. We've got our little light box right here. The only issue that I noticed so far is right here, there was a little piece of black filament that ended up getting caught. It must not have completely cleared when it was changing over. So it got caught right there. You can see it through the front a little bit. But aside from that, the first layer quality is probably, and I'm not just saying this because it's a brand new printer, probably the smoothest, best looking first layer on any printer I've ever used. When it was laying it down, you couldn't even see the layer lines that were happening. So very, very happy with how this came out, aside from that little bit of black there. Still waiting on the P1P to finish up the back piece. I mean, aside from that, to go from just a regular JPEG or PNG image of our logo to a completed Lightbox in about an hour and a half, including printing, I'd say that's really, really good. I think the design work, if I wasn't explaining it through, would probably only take 3 or 4 minutes, aside from some of the processing that it had to do to convert this into a vector. So if you're in the mood to create a Lightbox, definitely check out the Lightbox Creator or Lightbox Maker over on Maker Lab. And I guess I'll show it to you completed when P1P finishes up on the back. All right, P1P just finished up on the backer piece, so you can kind of see our little keyhole slots there. We've got our port for all the wires, and our top piece slots over it nice and perfect. I would recommend putting a few drops of CA glue or something to actually secure this piece to the base. Otherwise, when it's hanging on the wall, you run the risk of it coming loose. That does mean you won't be able to replace anything inside, but you shouldn't really need to. Your power cord's gonna come through here. Your lights likely would be wrapped around this part here, and then this can get secured onto there like that. And you really don't need access to the inside. Assuming you're using some good LEDs, it shouldn't ever really die for that matter. But that was super easy. I think it took the backer piece a little bit longer, about 2.5 hours to print. If we were doing this on one printer, it would be about a 5-hour print. 4.5, 5 hours for both of these to print, but since we can space it across multiple machines, we were only down about 2.5 hours total. All right, so I don't have any string lights or lights to actually go inside of this Lightbox. This was more to show you how easy it was to actually create the Lightbox and to see how the P2S does on its first print. But right from inside Lightbox Maker on Maker Lab, you can check out some of the accessories that they have here. If you wanted a RGB strip so you can change the colors, they've got that here. If you just want a regular white strip there, you can also purchase it from Bambu for about $18. And this is a 5-foot, so if you wanted to brighten up the inside of your printer, I suppose that works too. But it also works great inside of these light boxes. So if you're wondering where to get a light, you don't have to look very far. They've got it all for you right here on the Lightbox Maker inside of Maker Lab. I will have links down in the description below to the Maker Lab site so you can go and make your own Lightbox. If you want to pick up the brand new Bambu Lab P2S or any of their other machines, I have links down in the description below as well for those. Again, they are affiliate links, so if you do make a purchase using one of those links, I get a little commission. Doesn't cost you anything extra. It just helps us out on the channel. That's gonna wrap this one up. Thank you again to Bambu Lab for sending over the P2S. We will definitely have some more content on that coming up because I gotta say, it's definitely my new favorite machine in the shop. Take care, folks, and I'll see you in the next one.